In today's TestQuest 10 demo, I'll be showing you how we can develop a single test case and run that single test case against 4 completely different operating systems. You can see on my screen here, I actually have 4 different devices. In the top left, I have my Android device. In the middle here, I have a Windows Mobile device. On the right, I have an iPhone. And down here at the bottom, I have a Windows 7 laptop. Now the goal of today's test is to launch a web browser. We're going to log into Hotmail. We're going to open up an email and send a reply. Now that's pretty simple in itself, but the cool thing about this test is we're going to do using one piece of code. We don't need to write 4 test cases. We can just write a single test and use that against all of our devices. Now the first thing we want to do is actually launch our web browser. I'm going to go to my Android first. Now for this I want to actually click on this applications button down here in the corner. When I click on this, it'll give me a list of all my apps. And for this test we want to load the Dolphin browser. So again, I clicked on the applications button and then the Dolphin icon. Now for Windows Mobile it's a little bit different. I'm going to click on the start menu first. Then I'm going to select the Internet Explorer. So again, it's 2 steps. Click on the Apps button, then the Internet Explorer. Now the iPhone's a little bit different. For the iPhone, we don't have any start menu to click on. We're just going to click on the Safari icon itself. Now, it's a little bit different, but we can handle this in code pretty well. I'm going to open up Visual Studio now. You can see this. This is a very simple test. The first thing I'm going to do, connect out to my target. After that, I'm going to look for the Apps button. So in one case, the Apps button is going to be my start menu. In the other case, the Apps button is going to be the application button for Android. On the iPhone, there is no Apps button, so it's just going to skip this step. Now if it finds the App button, it's going to click on it, and afterwards it's going to launch a web browser. To show you a little more about this, I'm going to actually launch my asset editors. Here's my asset editor connected to my Android device. As you can see, I've defined this Apps button. This Apps button, just the icon in the bottom left corner. And I've also defined an asset called Web Browser. Now, Web Browser icon is this Dolphin icon here. Now, I've defined similar resources for my Windows Mobile device. For Windows Mobile, I still have an Apps button. That's just going to be my start menu. And I've also defined an asset called Web Browser icon, just like my Android. In this case, it's going to click on the Internet Explorer icon. Now, iPhone, a little bit different too. In this case, we still have Web Browser icon, but in this case, it's going to click on Safari instead. Now the cool thing about this is in my code, all I need to do is say click on web browser icon and it's going to do the right thing. For the iPhone, it'll click on Safari. For the Windows Mobile, it'll click on Internet Explorer. And for Android, it'll click on the Dolphin icon. That's pretty cool. Go back to my code so you can see what it looks like. As you can see, one line here says click on web browser icon and it's just going to do the right thing. Now next I'm just going to show you a very brief overview of my code. The first thing I do is find the top URL and type hotmail.com. Next thing I do, once I'm at Hotmail, I look for my username and password fields. After that, I type my username, type my password, and click sign in. Now once I'm signed in, I should see at least one message. I did send one email to myself. I called it Hello Agents. I'm going to click on that email and then select reply. Now in some devices, I'll get a pop-up. It'll ask me, do you want to reply to reply all? I'll just click reply. Next thing I want to do is I want to edit the subject line. I'm going to click on that same subject, the Hello Agents, and I'm going to just change the subject to include -iPhone or -Windows 7, just so we know who's sending the email. Next thing I want to do, I'm going to click down in the message box, and I'm going to say the message is from this device, and I'll click the send email button. Now to run this test, I've actually set up a batch file. The batch file is pretty simple. I'm going to open this up. As you can see, very simple. All it does, launch 4 copies of the same application. It just launches it against 4 different devices. I'm going to go ahead and show you in a second. First, I'm going to move all my asset editors out of the way. We don't need to see these anymore. And I'll put my device back in their original state. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and launch the test now. As you can see, it spawned out 4 different copies of my console application. There's my Windows Mobile. There's my iPhone. Here's my Android. And there's my Windows 7 laptop. Now we can let this run, and pretty soon we should see an email from each one of those guys show up in my email box. Now, each of these tests is actually going to run at a little different speed, but the really important thing is that they're all going to finish, and they're all tested using one test script. Being able to run a single test against multiple different platforms really has a lot of benefits. Maybe you're a web developer, and you're in the process of updating your website, but you want to make sure you don't break anything. Now, on top of that, your boss says you need to work on Android, iOS, BlackBerry, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, the whole works. Well, you don't need to write 20 tests. You don't even need to write 2. You just need to write a single test, and then run that test against each of your different device types. If you change your web page and add an extra login field somewhere, you only need to modify one test. I think that's pretty cool. If we look at the devices above, we're actually testing 4 different browsers here. On the Android, we're testing out the Dolphin browser. On the Windows mobile device, we're running Internet Explorer. On the iPhone, we're running Safari. And then on Windows 7, we're running Internet Explorer 9. And remember, we're doing all this from one test script, which is going to save us tons of money and tons of time. Now I'm just going to let this keep running for a little bit here. Looks like they're making pretty good progress. On my Windows mobile device there, looks like he's got the reply opened up. Now he's going to edit that subject line to say it's coming from the Windows mobile device. Then the Android device, he's a little bit farther behind. He's still at the login page for Hotmail, but that's okay. The important thing is the test is going to finish. Over on the iPhone over there, he's got his reply ready. He's going to start editing that subject line now. He's basically going to say, from iPhone. There it goes. If you look down at my Windows 7 box, it looks like he's already typed his Windows 7 in the subject line as well. He'll be editing the body pretty quick here. It's running pretty smoothly. It looks like my Windows mobile device actually finished. You can see it actually says, this message has been sent. So that's a good thing. Actually looks like my iPhone just finished up too. You can see it says up there, your message has been sent. And my Windows 7 box, he's also finished. Now we're just waiting on the Android device to finish up. Right now it's doing a text search looking for that Hello Agents line. Looks like it found it. Now it's going to append some into that subject line as well. And it's going to add the text saying this is from the Android agent. And it's going to send it off. And really close. There it is. If you can see, all our tests have finished up. I'm actually going to launch my Internet Explorer now. You can actually see my email they sent. As you can see, my original email. There's the one from Windows Mobile, Windows 7, iPhone, and Android. There we have it. The test all finished. We got 4 new emails, all from a single test script. Hopefully this has been pretty useful for you. If you're interested in finding out more about TestQuest, please visit us on the web at www.testquest.com. Thanks.